Olis, welcome back to my channel. My name is Scarlett Lobo. If this is your first time here, I'd like to post videos about budgeting and how to be smart with money. So if that's something that you are interested about, please consider subscribing down below. Today I'm going to tell you 3 reasons why you should buy a used reliable car, and I'm going to tell you also my own story of my used reliable car that I sold recently. So let's get started. Number 1. You should buy a used car because you won't own it forever. And what do I mean with this? Sometimes these cars that are used, like maybe 10 years old, 5 years old, they are not our dream car. However, that doesn't mean that we will never own that dream car. That just means that not right now. Maybe not the right timing to own that car. So no sometimes means no yet. So it's okay. It's okay if you right now own a car that you are not super happy about, because you may own that car you dream about years later. And believe me, you're going to appreciate it way more if you wait and work hard for it. Number 2, you should buy a used/old reliable car because a nice car is more than what you see. Don't judge a car because of its age or the way it looks. Sometimes new cars that look amazing the outside have the same problem of old cars. It depends on the previous owner, or it depends on the manufacturer, the type of car it is. What matters is that it's reliable, that it functions well, that it hasn't been involved in a car accident. And I know this one is really hard for guys because guys love cars and they dream about, driving this super expensive sport car, convertible, or if it's not convertible, like a truck, an SUV. The person who wants to be your friend or who wants to date you is gonna do it no matter what you drive. So don't worry about the look of your car. I see so many people worry about this, and you are probably the only person who is thinking about that. So don't go through that rabbit hole or under that rabbit hole or on that rabbit hole. I'm not sure how it is the saying right now, but don't play that game. The people that really like you are going to be around you even if you don't have a car. And number 3, and one of my favorite or the most important reasons for me, is that you should buy a used car because you should keep your money where you can see it in your bank account. The fact that you can make the monthly payments of a car lease or a payment of a loan doesn't mean that you can afford that car. If you are young, if you are going to college, if you are in your early 20s, you are not expected to drive a nice car, and that is okay. It's okay. Don't try to pretend that you can afford this car. And some people think leasing is a good idea, and at the end of those years, you are making those payments, but you end up with no car. Plus, if you go over the car mileage of your lease, then you have to pay thousands of dollars when you return that car. If you live in Central California or Southern California, it's very easy to go over that limit. I know it is really hard to hear, but you don't deserve that car if you have to spend all your money paying for it. Okay, now let me tell you the story of how I got my car and how much I paid for it and how much I sell it for. So I bought my Honda CR-V from 1998 in January 2016. I owned it for 4 years and a half and sold it a couple of weeks ago, beginnings of August. When I purchased my car, the mileage was this. When I sold it was this. Like I said, I purchased this car in January 2016 and I paid for it $2,700. I sold it a couple of weeks ago, beginnings of August 2020, for $1,900. So I sold it for only $800 less than I bought it. That means, let me look for my phone so we can do the math. Alrighty, plus 6, that is 54 months that I own it, and I'm going to divide the 800 by 54 months. I bet you can find a good reliable car that you're going to be safe driving from place A to place B, where you are going to thank yourself years later that you didn't spend that money that would devaluate really fast. Also, let me tell you some of the things that I really like about my car. Honda CR-Vs are 4 cylinders, especially these ones from 1998. I think they are all 4 cylinders, and I didn't have to pay much for gas every week. And also the insurance was way cheaper for being an older car, because if I would get in a car accident, of course it would be way cheaper to replace a car from 1998 than a car from 2010, right? So I save money in insurance, I save money in gas, and I also save money moving, because I was in college and I moved a lot during this time. I lived in probably 5 different places during those 4.5 years, and I was able to put inside of that car my twin mattress. That's how big that car was, and it was not really like a SUV. It was like in a gray area between being a regular car and an SUV. So for me it was the perfect size. I even bought a surfboard and I put it inside that car. I was able to fit so many things there, so it was also a good car for my lifestyle, especially at that time when I was moving so much. So one thing that I also suggest that you should consider about is find a car that goes well with your lifestyle, because you don't want to have a very nice luxury car that you cannot take to places where you go sometimes, because it can be a little bit scary, the areas you go to, or maybe they are not that safe and you don't want to get that much attention, and it won't feel comfortable for you driving it there. So you want to own a car and drive a car that it's going to go well with that, and that it's going to make you feel safe 24/7 when you drive it. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with someone that you think is going to find it interesting, helpful, informative. Like and subscribe.